Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Pillow Talk. It's going to be good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night all around the world. We are happy to have you in our midst today. And today we have in our midst our sister Georgina, who's also known as Sister Abina Ohima Abima Jebia who is a County Hima of the Ghanaian Asante Association of Connecticut. We are happy to have you now, Miss Sister. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a good time with us today with our beautiful topic that we're going to talk about. Our topic for today is all about forgiveness, and it's about forgiveness in relationships, how we maneuver or how we tailor forgiveness into our day-to-day lives. What does it do for us? We all know that if we forgive each other, then everything is solemn, everything is cool, everything is sailing nice. But then when there is a friction between people and it's not talked about or it's not actually forgiven, then you kind of feel a certain type of way when you actually come into contact with the person or the situation again. So today in our midst is our sister Georgina. We're going to have her introduce herself better for us because I gave a little highlight of who she is. We're going to have her talk to us about who she is, what she does, and we're going to continue from there. Our sister Georgina, welcome to our show tonight or today. We are happy to have you. Thank you for coming. Let's tell us who you are, Sister Georgina.
Well, again, I am Georgina Mensah, and the County Hima of the Asante Connecticut.
Well, once again, thank you for coming and you're welcome. So our topic for today is mainly about forgiveness in relationships. So when I say forgiveness in relationships, a relationship is when there is a cordial or a cordial or an understanding between two people. It can be friends, it can be colleagues at work, it can be your own children, it can be your neighbor. So when we talk about forgiveness in relationships, forgiveness goes a long way. It's like a word that will never go out of our day-to-day lives because it's there. We air each other. We air our spouses. We air our boyfriends, our girlfriends. We air our kids. Our kids air us. So forgiveness is something that we deal with in our day-to-day life. So on the thought of that, I have a question that I want to ask you, and I want you to try and elaborate and then tell us what you think or feel about the question. So my first question to you, Georgina, today is, what role do you think forgiveness plays or helps forgiveness plays or help in maintaining a healthy relationship in our day-to-day lives?
Well, that is a very, I don't know whether to say it's a very big question. You have to understand what forgiveness is and what you are forgiven.
Yeah.
And to say that, we know, as you elaborated on forgiveness or relationship, there are different kinds of relationship, and we all understand that we are all embodied as a human nature. We are all embodied in relationship. And based on the type of relationship, that depends on what is actually happening for you to forgive. What is forgiveness itself? What do we understand by forgiveness?
Well, I mean,
forgiveness.
But if I would jump in, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your question, but like your thoughts. But when we say forgiving somebody, is letting every ill feeling that you have towards the person or that situation go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to answer myself. Yeah, allow me. It's my floor.
All right. It's your floor. Take it away.
Yes. Yeah, it's just letting go grievances, pain, anything that is you have away without punishing. What I understand is letting go resentment. When we talk about resentment is a very deep English word in relationship. There are a lot of things that happen in relationship that kind of put the relationship at bay. But before you can forgive somebody, you have to understand what is going on.
All right. So go ahead. We're listening. All right. So that's a very good thought, and I like that. Well, so when we say that we forgiving somebody, we forgive them, right, Sister Georgina? Like, we forgive them. And then when we forgive somebody, do we build trust back again? Because when somebody errs and then you are at the brink of trying to forgive, right? When that happens, don't you think that the trust barrier is broken? Because when somebody does something to you and you're mad about it, you're mad about it. Maybe that person is somebody that you trust so much, and they err and they break that trust. So then when we forgive them, do we get to build that trust back again, or do we just plain forgive and leave it at that?
That is what if I'm forgiving somebody, if I am forgiving somebody, it depends on am I doing the forgiveness for myself, or is the forgiveness for the both parties? Mm-hmm. You ask, is forgiveness very good in relationship? Mm-hmm. There's different kinds of which part of the relationship am I forgiving? Mm-hmm. Is it familiar relationship, platonic, romantic, or personal? Which one are we talking about? In any way, when you are doing the forgiveness, is it the forgiveness for myself, or I am forgiving to repair a relationship? That is when your question that you ask will come in. If the forgiveness that I'm doing, it is for myself, then I am doing it to keep myself healthy, to give myself life, to stand back and look at life differently. Am I doing the forgiveness for reconciliation, to repair a relationship? That one is different.
So we go both ways.
So it goes both ways. It depends which one are you doing. The forgiveness that you are talking in relationship, there are two types. Am I doing the forgiveness for myself, or am I doing the forgiveness for the sake of the relationship?
Right. I mean, if you're forgiving somebody for your own sanity, then you don't have to build any trust back, because you're doing it for you.
Exactly.
And then you don't really care if the person knows you're forgiving them or not. In that instance, you don't care if the person doesn't have to know.
The person doesn't have to know.
Like you're saying, if you're doing it for you. But if you're doing to reconcile a relationship or whatever, I mean, then the trust building comes back in the play there, because you have to forgive them and you have to build the trust back again and then make it work.
Yes. Even said that, even if you are doing the forgiveness for you yourself, remember, in relationship, you have a relationship for yourself. There is a type of relationship that you have for yourself. Your body, your soul, has a relationship by itself. Exactly. So even if you are doing it for yourself, you should have a trust for yourself.
Right.
Okay, you are forgiving yourself for something that is not right. And to trust that you are not going back to hurt yourself, you have to trust that you will not do it again. So that trust that you ask, even though you are doing the forgiveness for yourself, you still have to trust it. This trust is there.
So trust is always going to come.
It's always going to come no matter what. You have to trust that you are forgiving yourself and you are not going back. This forgiveness is for yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's said. You said a lot. I mean, I get that. I mean, you forgive yourself, you still have to build on trust. You forgive somebody to reconcile, you still have to build on trust. So trust, either way, trust is going to be there in a foreplay or thing. So you have to trust again. So to say the least. Can we forgive without forgetting?
When we are forgiven in relationship, why are we forgiven? That is the question.
Okay.
Why are you trying to forgive?
To reconcile, maybe? To make things work better?
Okay, if that is what you think you are forgiving, then I don't know. I think the first thing is for you to think about yourself. That is the first thing. If you want to live longer. Because scientifically, if you the resentment is caused by somebody hurting you, right?
Right.
Reliving something again and again and again. That is resentment. It's because somebody's hurting you so bad. And if that person kept on hurting you, what would you do? You have to step back in relationship.
Right.
Okay. To step out in relationship is for you to forgive yourself. You give a boundary. You forgive and you give a boundary. Why am I giving a boundary? Because I don't trust.
Right, there you go.
But for me to give a boundary is to keep the person from hurting me.
Again.
Again, that is the trust.
And again.
Now, the person that you've put the boundary there, you want to trust the person. To trust the person is for you to repair the relationship. It depends on the relationship. We talked about the relationship. There are certain relationship is forever. That is familiar relationship, a family. You can never leave your family. But there is something going on that causing a resentment. You can put a boundary so that you don't get hurt again. And that you need to trust these people because they are your family. When we talk about platonic, it is a friend. This friend is hurting you, crossing a boundary. And that you can step back and what? Create a boundary. Are you going to trust such a person? You might not. What can you do?
Yeah. So I want to say that we forgive, right? When somebody does something to you and hurts you and you forgive them, do you forget what they did to you after you forgive them?
No. We don't forgive and forget. We forgive and learn so that we don't get hurt.
So then it's safe to say that you will forgive, right?
Yes,
But you wouldn't forget the circumstances in which you were erred.
exactly.
So that way you're going to hold that and keep it as a go back to look at kind of thing.
No.
So then why don't you forget when you forgive? Because if you're not forgetting what the person did to you, but you forgave them, but you did not forget what they did to you, what are we holding on that thing for? Why are we holding on it?
When we say forgiveness, the forgiveness is to let go,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You let go the pain.
Mm-hmm.
You let go the resentment. I use the word resentment. You let go. But when you are letting something go, that doesn't mean that you are forgetting what happened. Let me use this as an example. If I put a hot plate in front of you, and then you put your hand on a hot plate, the hot plate is hot. You put your hand there, you remove your hand, right? Because it burns you. Why did you remove your hand? It's a stimuli. So
Yes.
that you see that it is hot, you don't put your hand there again.
Right.
Next time, you will not put your hand there. Why? Because you have a memory that it will burn you. So when you see it again, you won't put your hand there. But you removed your hand. That is how it is. You don't hold on it, but it kind of prevents you from getting hurt. It prevents you from getting into that position again. It protects you from getting there. You cannot hold on it.
Okay.
I am not. I hope I am explaining it well. You are
Yeah,
not
I get
holding
it.
the hurt. You are not holding. You let go.
Right.
That is, you let go without punishing. In relationship, you let that resentment go without punishing, while deciding whether you want to stay in the relationship or you want to go away from the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you know how they used to say that forgive and forget? I'm going to add a little bit to what you said. When you forgive somebody, you definitely do not forget what was done to require the forgiveness. But you don't forget, but you don't dwell on it as well.
No.
Because when we dwell on what was done to us, then it's going to stir old wounds all the time. So we say, you won't forget, you will remember. But because that hurt and that pain you got has gotten to a point where you have decided to let go of it, if even you remember, you wouldn't feel the same hurt that you felt before you forgave. You know what I'm saying? So we do forgive. Yes, we will forgive. No matter what it is, we can forgive. But in my opinion, I don't think you can ever forget it.
No, nobody forgets.
You can never, I mean, it's one of the things in relationships that is tough is this. You forgive somebody and they will apologize and you forgive them and then they go back and do the same thing again. So that is stirring old wounds. So that's why I said that we forgive, yes, but we don't forget, because when we forget, then we don't remember what was done. Because when that same thing is done again, you have no recollection of it the first time it happened. But when you actually have it at the back of your head that this is what my spouse did, this is what my daughter or son or brother or sister or whatever the relationship might be did for me to get to that point of anger, I forgive them, but they repeated the same thing again. So then do you say, is it safe to say that we will forgive, but there is no way we can ever forget? I'm asking you the question again because the forgetting part is broad to me in the sense that I realize that a lot of people do forgive, but they still hold on to a little bit that made them angry. So that when you stir the wound again, then the anger comes right back and it comes rushing through.
Yes. When somebody keeps on hurting you, it creates resentment. And when that resentment it creates attitude and character. Mm-hmm. And that is what is going on. That is what you were saying. I am not going to forgive you when you keep doing what you are doing to me again and again and again and again. What are you doing to yourself? When you are there with somebody and you forgive the person once, mm-hmm. twice, mm-hmm. and the person keeps on doing that person, no, you have to step away from the person. The person is going to kill you. The person is going to kill you. He is not going to leave you alone. That is not healthy. One, is not healthy for you yourself.
Yeah.
But this is the instance that we have to forgive, yes, but we don't forget. And there are certain people that what we call naturally don't forget.
They hold on.
They hold on.
They hold on to the mantle.
Look,
they're not letting go.
They don't forget.
No.
You can go and apologize.
But they will accept
take an accountability to what you did.
Yes. So,
but they will hold on to it.
You'll be accountable before you can apologize. But this person, I know what you're talking about because they hold on to it like dear life.
Oh, my God.
And they won't let it go.
Yes. When we talk about those people, I mean, if you are one, those people who hold on, you can't do anything about it. Because if you are a hold-on person that do not naturally let things go, it's not good for yourself scientifically. It's not good for your heart. You're not going to live long.
So, like, I know that. So then it's safe to say, like, in Fanti, we say something like this. So it's a sem chan and fashion che. it's a sem cha and then fashion
Infatuation.
che. Because when you forgive and you hold on to it, I mean, every circumstances, situations, conditions around what happened to bring about forgiveness is different. It different from case to case. But I say that once you forgive somebody, you helping yourself as well.
You yourself.
You're creating that sanity for yourself, that you're not going to be in a situation where you see the person and you're jittering.
Oh my God, you are
You're
relieving.
jumpy
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Relieving yourself.
from all of
Making
that.
yourself lighter.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you take off that weight off your body. Okay, and that's it. So what do you think? What do you think is a deal breaker? Okay. So when we say forgiveness, what is really the deal breaker that will make forgiveness impossible? At what point do you think forgiving somebody is going to be totally impossible to do?
Just like you said, when you are in a situation whereby the person keeps on hurting you,
Okay.
the person, whoever, whatever the relationship, the hurting doesn't stop. Or the person that's hurting is not taking accountability. When you are forgiving person, it's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
The other person has to take accountability of what they did. They have to show some kind of remorse.
Yeah.
And they will have to show some steps to follow, showing that they are actually going to stop what they are doing.
Yeah.
But when the situation whereby the person is not showing that, you could see that, okay, you are taking your part. You're forgiving the person.
Mm-hmm.
But whereby the arrows are still shooting back to you, it's difficult.
So in that case, it becomes impossible
It becomes impossible.
to forgive the person because it keeps revolving.
It keeps revolving. In this case, I will say take a step back and move away. Move away from the person. The person at that time becomes something that is not healthy for you. It's impossible. It's not a person or it's not an entity to coexist with.
So then we should say that being accountability and integrity should be the forefront in every relationship. Because if you're accountable for your actions, you're going to realize that you're doing what is not right, and you're going to apologize for what you did. And it's going to show, you're going to show some remorsefulness because you feel bad about what you did to your other partner. So you come forward and ask for forgiveness. But some people will ask for forgiveness, all right. They'll be accountable of their actions, okay. But then continue to do the same thing over and over again. They will come to you. You can tell they're remorseful, but then they go back and do the same thing again. In this case, is it safe to say that at that point, we can say it's impossible at that point to even forgive or to even trash it out with the person?
These people are pathologically hurt. They are created.
There are people like
to
that.
hurt. They are created. I mean, you could see there are people like that.
Yeah.
And those people, they are not doing it because they are taking accountability of what they are doing. Maybe they are doing it just to show their faces.
They are faking it?
They are faking it.
Okay.
They are fakers. They are not doing it because of you. Look, if I'm in a relationship and then I like the person that I am with, and you tell me that I've hurt you, and I'm taking an accountability for it, that means I like you.
Okay.
If you like the person, you take accountability. If you like somebody and they talk about accountability, you will own your words, your action, everything that you are doing towards the person. Make sure that you are not hurting that person. That is an accountability.
It is an accountability, yes.
But if you are doing it just for yourself, that is not accountability. So that person, because he's not doing it for you and he's doing it for himself, that is why the person will come back and do it again. Because it's not for you.
Maybe they're not, well,
it's not for you.
If you're not accountable of something that you did, because you're going to be accountable only when you take the other person's feelings at heart.
Exactly.
So if you're accountable for what you did, then you're going to understand that what you did to the person was hurtful. Mm-hmm. So you hurt them. So if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be a big person, I'm going to accept my wrongdoings, and I'm sorry, I apologize, it won't happen again. That's accountability right there. But when you do that, and then you go around and come back again and do the same thing again to that same person, that's not accountability.
Yeah, but then at that moment, that person did not put himself in place of you.
So they don't have empathy. Is that what you're saying?
No, there was no empathy. He did it maybe to save their faces.
Yeah. I mean, there are people like that.
They
will continue.
Yes. At that moment, maybe there's something there that they needed. That is why they did it.
That's a good point.
It wasn't a love.
That's a good point.
They got what they want. So they reverse back to why they did it.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's a very good point. That's a great point right there. That's a puncher right there. So what can we say? All right. So in this case, how can couples work together to rebuild and move forward after a betrayal? What can couples do? This is strictly couples. So if a wife betrays a husband in any way, or a husband betrays a wife in any way, what can they do to try and rebuild that trust that, they lost in the midst of that? What can couples do?
Oh yeah, you are channeling it to a couple.
I am. This one is channeled to a couple.
Channeling to a couple.
This particular segment that I'm doing right now, we broadened it. We broadened it around to the extended family, whatever. But this particular one I want us to talk about is about couples. So when your husband or your spouse betrays you in any way, I don't want to be specific. Betrayal is betrayal.
Betrayal is betrayal, no matter how
you
relationship
see it.
is.
Yes. How do you rebuild the whole thing back?
Well, I think in any relationship, or whether we channel it to love relationship, and if there is a betrayal, both parties have to take accountability of where they are at fault. They have to own where they are at fault, and they have to communicate where they are at fault. I believe if they both communicate and own their fault and communicate and accept it and work on it, you take accountability. If I take accountability of myself and say that I know I have hurt you, I did. I'm taking accountability. I have done it. I did it. Without pointing finger, without reflecting, without finding an excuses, and accepting the fact that I did. I believe if I know that I did, and take an accountability and own my mistake, we will find a way to work towards it.
So basically,
and then, find a way to work towards it. Give a grace, and then I think we both have to assess each other, help each other, and know how to bring each other back and work.
So then we can say that, just a quick one about this. So to literally try and, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. So literally to say that you're trying to work it out again, it has to be fully through communication.
Communication.
From both parties. Excuse me. So communication from both parties. So if a woman betrays a man, if a man betrays a woman, and it's been determined that, okay, you hurt me bad, I hurt you bad, whatever, I accept my fault, I'm being accountable about it, I'm going to be a woman of integrity and accept my fault and say, hey, I won't do it again, and I'll do what I say I'm going to do. So to rebuild that, you have to sit, talk about it. It's all about communication, right? So what if it gets to a point where communication becomes impossible? How do you break that tie?
Communicating becomes impossible, whereby there is so many things reliving of the pain again and again, you know? When one of you refuse to take an accountability of what you are doing, when the pride overtakes the communication, how do we break the tie?
How do we break the tie?
One has to step away.
Usually, no. I wouldn't say that one has to step away.
If I say one has to step away, not stepping out of the relationship, one have to be the big one to step out and talk, bring the communication out.
We have to have that difficult conversation.
One has to be the one that will bring the communication out.
Some people, it's hard for them to accept their wrongdoings. And when that happens, it becomes difficult to break that tie because, first of all, I accepted the wire bono. No, my wire on. Who put the wire on? Who put the wire two feelings? It is so when that happens now, you actually realize that if there is no accountability there, then how do I forgive you? So then the issue is going to still be lingering in our lives for a long time till we break apart. But when we are both on the same page in that instance, okay, Gina, I am born. Ada yemi da shimpa. Because usually on your piano you'll be born on de my obono. Ebi emi born na me da yon po minim de ayo. So it's accountability on both sides. Say if I Gina be catch him de oh gifty ada di am ne dan de manyo anje ho. Me de ma de ni biom. Na ma me hu de eti am na do de anya de. Inti no sa anya de if I have to sit back and think about it and know what I really did, I know that you didn't like it. So I have to come and say, I'm sorry. Let you know that won't happen again. But in certain instances, no, the person is not even acknowledging why you're born. So what do you do in that case?
Yeah, that I somehow let me speak the English on the tree.
Go ahead. Whatever. We are good.
It just reminded me, you see, we are all from different backgrounds.
Right.
The receptors, the way we receive certain things are different. So, being said, when somebody is hurting you, how to voice it out, how to complain it is different from other people. Some of the people, they can boldly come to you and tell you that you step on my foot.
Right.
Some too, they will not. They will want to pass through other channels. Some people are like that. And there are other people, instead of you telling him, I would prefer you telling me, say, instead of you passing through other channels. All these are some of the, how do we call it? All these are some of the instances that makes relationship very difficult to solve problems.
Right.
Now, in this relationship, if I am from a different background, you are from a different background.
Right.
The way I will solve my problem is different from the way you solve your problem.
That's right.
The way I will perceive what is a problem is different from the way you perceive your problem. You see, adia me me kase eye problem, maybe na wenye problem. Eye different.
Yeah.
So, ebi ana wono adia wo joking and what you are using as a joke, to me, it's offensive. In my background, we don't use that. In your background, it's a
okay.
joke. You are okay. So all these parameters come to play in relationship.
And it also plays in solving issues.
And it's also play in solving issues.
Yeah.
So when you are with a partner, in a relationship, in one partner, the other partner takes certain things as a joke, and the other partner take the joke seriously, it makes that relationship unbalanced.
I mean,
How do you solve such a problem?
So I will say this though. This is taking me back to previous topics that I've done. You know, in relationships, we have to have a common ground, like the playpen for both of us. You from a different background, I'm from a different background, but we need to have that common ground. That's going to be our playpen. Your background is what makes you unique. Mine is what makes me unique, right? Okay. What is offensive to you from my background? You will let me know. So then I will know how to play around it. I will let you know mine too, so that we can have that common ground and be able to, live life and live it fully. Because, of course, everybody come from different places. The way I was brought up is not the way you were brought up. So then we come together as one entity. So we have one common goal. That's what we're working towards, to make the relationship work, to build a family. So we have that goal, so we work towards that. That's saying, say, muni them connection between you and Bina. It won't work.
Okay.
The connection has to come in first.
Yeah, that is where accountability comes in. When we talk about accountability is not you being right. Accountability is for you to save the other person.
Right.
You are from different backgrounds.
Right.
So I will use my profession, for instance. In my profession, I am in the OR. Okay. I have a relationship with my surgeon. Now, I'm supposed to retract the wound for my surgeon to work, right? There is a bleeder. Now, my surgeon is not seeing it. I have accountability. My accountability is not to be right, but to make sure that the surgeon see what he's doing.
Right.
So what I'm doing is to save him. I make that wound clear. That is different background here.
Right.
That is the different background here.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to be right.
Right.
But somebody standing somewhere will say that it is my right to do that. No. Your background is different. You are a joker. I'm not a joker. Why you joke so much, I don't joke. But to take an accountability, the person that you are with doesn't like that. Now to own, you own your actions. You own your speech. Whatever you do, you own in order not to offend the other person. So you take accountability. Taking accountability, that will prevent the other person from doing that. You understand me? So if we are in a relationship and we are trying to solve the problem, and then the problem is because of what you are doing, it's offending me, and you love me so much, and relationship is interconnection, right? We are bonded, and the bond is there. To keep that bond is to connect. The connection is the reaction, the communication that we have. The communication is to keep that bond together. So that is accountability.
Got it.
That is accountability.
Got it.
So you take accountability to keep the bond together. So when we are taking our accountability, we keep that bond.
That's right. You're right. You well said. Well said. I really like everything that you said. So going forward, do you think that forgiveness is a solo thing, or it requires both parties to be involved?
Forgiveness required both parties. I can forgive you for stepping on my toes. That is my part. That is my part.
That is
But your part is to prevent that toe from being stepped again.
Well, I would jump in because I wouldn't say I agree. Because forgiveness can be solo. Okay? I say that because, this is just a thought, or it's just a thought. I'll say it's a thought. You can forgive somebody without the person knowing that you forgive them. That's solo.
That's for me.
That's for your soul own self. That's for your spiritual well-being. That's for your sanity, whatever. So that's solo.
We are in a relationship. We are talking about relationship
Right.
forgiveness.
But I mean, yes. Forgiveness in relationships can also be solo. So your partner might do something to you that pissed you off at some point. They don't even know they did it to you. Okay? So then you forgive them without them knowing, said they did something to you. But then going back and letting them know, say, oh, you know what, Charlie, I didn't know. But you already forgive them. So that ill feeling is already out of the way.
Yes.
So when you're addressing such situations, you're not going to add emotions to it. You're just going to say like it is and say, hey, I really don't do it again. So it can be solo and it can be joint too. It can be both ways. So if you forgive somebody for yourself, for your own sanity, you keep it moving. But when it requires you to actually forgive that person and let them know, say, you forgave them. Yeah, you did forgive them. Or if they acknowledge someone a bonnet and they take accountability and they come to you and say, I didn't mean it. Then it becomes
together.
Exactly. So I would say it goes both ways. It really does go both ways. I really am enjoying this topic. It really is deep. So going forward, how can someone forgive themselves for a past mistakes in a relationship? A past mistake. So let's say you coming to a new relationship from a past one, and you did something that required you forgiving. You did something in that past relationship that you know deep down in your heart said it was messed up. How do you forgive yourself coming in the new one? Yes.
Like we said,
are you relating to this? Are you relating to this?
It's funny. A past mistake. We all have our past mistakes that we do, and there's certain things that we do, and you ask yourself, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. That means that when you say that to yourself, you haven't forgiven yourself. You realize that?
Mm-hmm.
When you say that to yourself, that, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
You're already holding yourself.
You are holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
You haven't forgiven yourself.
Right.
And you are moving it on to your next relationship.
Yeah.
You will have to forgive yourself.
You got to go in with a clean slate.
You have to go with a clean slate. You have to tell yourself, that is what they said, a relationship with yourself, your body, your soul, and your spirit. You have to forgive yourself and tell yourself that it is gone. You clean it out of the motherboard. It is not happening again. And then when you see it, you make a U-turn of it. You make sure that your next relationship, that does not happen at all. How does that happen?
I know. That's a beautiful topic. Sister Gina, I enjoyed myself with you today. Thank you for coming to us. We hope that when we happen to call upon you again, you do us the honor and join us on our beautiful talk show, Pillow Talk. It was a pleasure having you in our midst. It was beautiful talking to you. You are very insightful. You're very knowledgeable. You really showed to me that you could relate to a lot of things that we talked about, and I appreciate that. Viewers, we thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your sharing, your tweaking, your comments. We hope that you continue to share our channel to the world so we can get seen. We talk about the most intimate part of our day-to-day lives. In the midst of all of this, life goes on, and please be safe wherever you are. Thank you for watching us. God bless, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you from Pillow Talk.
How was it?